You know I love my café con leche. Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez. Hold on, let me not spill the café con leche. That would be a travesty and a tragedy. Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. And yes, the fan is on. It's a hot day today. Okay, so right now, I feel good. I feel really good. So right now the time is approximately 8:50 p.m. and the current date is Monday, July 3rd, 2017. First, I want to acknowledge my newest YouTube channel subscriber, Trish Sullivan. Thank you for honoring who I am and what I do, and thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I also want to shout out to Gothica, because, there's a lot of noise going on, but that was not a ghost this time. That was something else. Yes, even my awesome audio-visual tech person agrees with that. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Thank you. Yes. Anyway, shout out to Gothica, and soon, she knows. This is the official July 2017 Black Mirror Salon thank you video. You know, it's just so funny. It's just so funny. So, you know, I've talked about what the Black Mirror Salon is. I've talked about what the Black Mirror Salon does. I've written about that in my professional, metaphysically oriented WordPress blog, This Is Who I Am. But I want to talk a little bit about everything that happened yesterday, because yesterday was a very unique Black Mirror Salon. So, as I mentioned, hold on, let me ask my awesome audio-visual tech person to make sure that I'm still in the frame, because I've moved around a little bit. So, I've given readings at public venues before. I've given readings at psychic fairs before. The Black Mirror Salon, or rather Catland's Black Mirror Salon, is not a typical psychic fair. It is essentially an opportunity for people to explore. Well, hello, Durga. Nice to see you again. Durga's on the floor, and I can see Durga right now. So, the Black Mirror Salon is an opportunity for people to explore different divination systems, because, and I've known this for years, some people either don't like the tarot, or they don't feel comfortable with the tarot, or they hate the tarot. You know, I had a semi-regular client who, when she first had a reading with me at a psychic fair in Manhattan, the first thing she said to me was, I hate the tarot. And you know what? Even though I am in lust with the tarot, I understand that there are people that don't feel comfortable with it, they don't understand it, they don't resonate with it, they're afraid of it, they loathe it with a passion. I get it. I don't hate those people. I don't hate anybody. I don't dislike those people, especially if they're paying money to have a reading with me. And if they refer clients and students to me as well. But the thing of it is that not everybody's going to connect with the tarot, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs to find their own divination system. So every time this client would have a reading with me, I would use an oracle card deck. Ironically, her best friend, who would always accompany her to have a reading with me, lives for the tarot, and she prefers the tarot over any other system of divination. So there you go. So yesterday was Catland's Black Mirror Salon. Yesterday was Sunday, July 2nd, 2017. It was from 1 to 7 p.m. And of course, given that I am a fanatic for punctuality, at least 90% of the time, I arrived early. And when I arrive, I see Melissa, who's one of the co-owners, or as I lovingly refer to her, Marvelous and Multi-Talented Melissa. And the first thing she says to me was that I'm the only reader that showed up because every other reader was sick. And one of the other readers, who is a regular reader at the Black Mirror Salon, he was sick, and he's become kind of the manager at Catland. So, long story shorter, he was sicker than Melissa, so Melissa was managing the store that day. And it just blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to be the only reader? And then she's like, no, there's somebody coming in from 3 to 6. Or so I thought. Because after 5 p.m., I happened to look at the time on my cell phone. And I saw that it was after 3 p.m. And I was like, Melissa, it's after 3 p.m. She's like, I know. And I said, no, what about the other reader who's coming in from 3 to 6? And she's like, oh, she called. She said she wasn't feeling well. So she told her, just stay home, rest, and when you're feeling better, let me know. And I was just so, yes, ladies and gentlemen, to make this a little bit shorter, although this video might be a little over 20 minutes, you never know. What happened was that I was the only person giving readings at the July 2017 Black Mirror Salon at Catland. This was not planned. This was not planned at all. I mean, when I engage in prosperity magic for Catland's Black Mirror Salons, I visualize every person who's giving readings being prosperous and giving reading after reading after reading with client after client after client. I don't visualize, I certainly did not do any whammy against those people, because the regulars are people whose energies I love and adore, and there were 2 people that I was going to meet for the first time, so I was just like, I was looking forward to seeing them again and catching up with them and talking about things. So it just blew my mind. I was just like, oh my goddess, I'm the only reader. And you know, I mean, it had been a while since I'd been in that kind of a situation where I was the only reader. But you know what? I will tell you right now that when I give readings at a public venue, what happened yesterday is what I want all the time. It is because when it comes to my professional psychic services, and specifically anything that is a group venue or a public venue, I look at if I, like in this situation, if I gave at least 5 readings, and when I say at least 5 readings, I mean at least 5 readings where the client paid the minimum of what I am offering that day. If I give at least 5, that means that the amount of time, the amount of energy, and the amount of money that I invested and spent was a good investment. When I double that amount, then I really masterfully invested time, energy, and money very well. And then of course, if I lose track of how many readings I give, then I'm overjoyed. And I want to show you something else. So this is the business card case that I use for my business cards. This contained an electronic product. Now this is what I usually have my business card case look like. You'll notice it's fully stocked. Okay. Yesterday, at the end of the day, this is what it looked like. No, a little bit less than that. No, a little bit more than that. Okay. That's what it looked like. Notice the difference. I was like, oh my goddess. I have not seen my business card case look like this in a long time. So I was supremely overjoyed. I am, and you know what? That makes me happy, because, you know, it's not just, well, Robert Alvarez, the psychic witch, received money. No, it's not just that, because as one of Catland's in-store readers, they receive a percentage of the monies that I receive for readings. And, you know, people would come into the store and not even have a reading, but they would buy merchandise. And that makes me happy. That makes me very happy, because you know what? I know that I stated this in one of my previous videos. I do not believe that I'm going to give readings at Catland forever. Maybe that's a really screwed up thought. Maybe that's a very inappropriate thought. But the fact of the matter is that things change. You know, I found out recently that somebody that I wanted to have give me a reading moved to another country. I don't have a passport. The irony is that he moved to a country where I have a client who visits on a regular basis. So who knows? But the amazing thing to me is that for months I've been like, you know, I want to have a reading with this guy, because I know he's very good. I've met some of his clients. I've heard great things about him. And then I find out through social media he up and moved to another country. So I wasted my time, not like, like having a reading with him when I had the opportunity. And one could argue, well, maybe I wasn't divinely guided. Well, if I wasn't divinely guided, I wouldn't have the thought over and over again. But, so that was one crazy thing that happened yesterday, and I mean crazy like in a very good way. The other thing that happened was that I finally conducted my very first professional woman runes reading, which made me so happy. And I conducted my first rune reading, or my first rune casting, in more than a year. And that made me very happy as well. And I loved that I used an astrological layout, which worked out perfectly. I love that I used runes that were made from tumbled amethysts, which I did purchase at Catland, and I loved that I was not only connecting with the runes on an intuitive level, but on an academic level, meaning the things that I know about those runic interpretations. It was amazing to me. I mean, the accuracy level of my oracle card readings, my palm readings, my rune readings, and all the other readings I conducted that day was in a class by itself. It was in this like supremely high state. And I gotta tell you, it blew my mind, because I mean, I've given palm readings professionally for 3 years, and the accuracy level of my palm readings was through the roof. I mean, I was intuiting things, and I was seeing things on clients' palms that I'd never seen before, that I'd never noticed before. I was just like, damn, And here's the other crazy thing that happened yesterday. At one point I was giving a client a reading, and I said to her, I know that I'm not a love psychic. I know that some people are love psychics, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what? My kind of psychic reading is an empowerment reading, an enrichment reading. My purpose as a professional psychic is to empower and enrich the client so that he or she walks this earth like the biggest, baddest badass to ever walk the earth. And those are the kinds of readings I give. And that just blew me the fuck away. I was like, damn! Like, that blew me up. That blew me away. I was like, I have never said that before. I've never heard that before. I never received that before. And all of a sudden it was like, bloop. In the moment, in the second, I'm like, that's who it is. That is who I am when it comes to giving clients professional psychic readings. So you have a reading with me. You are going to be so empowered, you're going to be so enriched, that you are going to be the biggest badass to ever walk this earth. And you know what? I love that about me. I absolutely love that about me. And you know what? I have owned that. I have claimed that. I mean, the second I said that, I owned it, I claimed it, and that is what I bring to a reading. That is what a client has with a reading with Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch. And now I'm going to have some more Café Bustelo, so there you go. And yes, I gave myself a headache when I did that, so I apologize for that. But it excited me, And for those of you who were not able to come to this Black Mirror Salon, I made a request of Melissa, and she said she would honor the request, but she's going to look at what happens over the next few months. And essentially, there is a strong possibility, I will say it like that now, there is a strong possibility, I'm going to say 85% probability, that there will be another Black Mirror Salon in October 2017. I would love it. I really would, because you know what, I absolutely have a vested interest in Catland prospering, obviously. And you know what, I do not apologize for playing favorites. I don't. I'm like, you know what, I will not tell clients who've never had a reading with me about the Black Mirror Salon, because I'm like, what's the point? I'm like, you know, if you're not going to have a reading with me, if you're not going to have a private reading with me outside of Catland, if you're not going to have a private reading with me inside of Catland, why am I going to bother telling you about a divinely discounted rate where you can get a reading from me at Catland for a really low price? So, you know, I don't have an issue playing favorites. I am more than happy to give clients that avail themselves of my psychic services on a regular basis more gifts and more discounts and more fun and more everything. You know, one of my first readings of the day yesterday was with one of my favorite people, and she has given me so much. She has participated in my group metaphysical classes, particularly my Divine Prosperity events. She actually gave me a great suggestion that led to me leading group spiritual and divine psychic self-defense classes. She's referred clients to me, she's referred students to me, she's given me beautiful birthday gifts, beautiful holiday gifts, and you know what? And she's one of the few people to whom I happily give free readings. And when she has a paid reading with me, she gives me a love offering, which is what I love calling a tip. So that's somebody that I'm going to absolutely give preference to. And I don't have a problem with that. I do not play favorites with any degree of malice, hesitation, or apologies. If you're going to give me that much, if you're going to spend that much time, energy, and money on Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, you better believe I'm going to give you this, and give you that, and give you this, and give you that, and I don't care. I am more than happy to do that. You want to receive the goddess bounty, then you give me shit. And I will happily give you the goddess bounty. I'm more than happy to do that. I can't tell you how many times I have gone to my favorite local metaphysics store, and I will tell one of the owners, yes, I'm here for other clients, yes, I'm here for my students, but I promise you I will come back and buy for me. And in a year, on average, I will purchase, let's say 80% of the things that I buy in this store are for clients and students. 20%, no, that's not true. 80% are for clients and students. 15% are for people that I love and adore, that may or may not be clients or students. And 5% of the time I buy for me. And you know what? I like it like that. I love it like that because of so many clients and students and so many loved ones are going to give me so much that I'm more than happy to give them so much. I love doing that. And if you're wondering, well, why hasn't Robert Alvarez, that fucking bitch, given me shit? Well, now you know why. I know I'm getting a little silly. I don't want to say ratchet because that would be an insult. So, if you have not, this is what happens when you live in a city. But I'd rather live in a city. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have not already scheduled a reading, please schedule a reading as soon as possible, because you know what happens when you don't. And for now, I want to thank you all for honoring who I am and what I do. And I'm actually going to do 3 more videos in a row. And then I'm going to engage in sacred solitude for 3 days. And then I'll get cracking on those videos and those blog posts. Thank you and good night.